The fight that will go through time and space and rip the very fabric of the Dragon Ball world. Or we shall see as Black Goku continues his rampage against future Trunks. Hello there, beautiful friends. I'm your host, Blackenfist, and this is my episode review of episode 48 of Dragon Ball Super. It seems that Black Goku has a very sadistic side to him, as he loves to put torment into future Trunks' heart. It also gets hammered in more by the narrator that Mai is dead. Now, I've said previously that Mai can't be dead because she's being promoted much too much in the promotional material. She's in the new intro, so how is it possible that a character so promoted and so just in your face just dies in the first episode of this first arc? Not only do I think that's a bad idea, because Mai, honestly, having Mai return in this kind of way would be extremely interesting. And if they just have her return in the promotional material just to kill her off, it's an enormous cock tease. Regardless of that, Black Goku and future Trunks have a little fight. I actually think that this fight, despite being a very short fight, while it lasted, I thought it was a pretty entertaining and probably one of the most brutal fights in the entire series. It also hammered in future Trunks' desperate situation. If the post-apocalyptic backgrounds aren't enough for you, the fight with Black Goku definitely put into perspective just how dire the straits are for future Trunks. Fortunately, future Trunks can find the time machine so that he can go toward the present. And in the present, we get introduced to Kid Trunks in school, of all things. Now, it wasn't explicitly stated, but it does seem that Trunks is in a private lesson or in a private school, which makes sense. I mean, his parents, his family, is one of the wealthiest in the world. But one thing that doesn't make sense is, why is it that Mai, Shu, and Pilaf are there? I mean, if you really think about it, if it is a private lesson, why is it that they're there with Trunks? Why are they in school in the first place? Perhaps they're with Trunks just to be closer to his mother, which they know can track down Dragon Balls, and maybe that's the reason they're there. Other than that, there really doesn't seem to be a reason. And you know what? I don't care, because the things that Pilaf does in the classroom are hilarious. Him answering the questions as a TV personality, and just seeing the Pilaf gang in a classroom, you can't put a price on it. Not to mention, I'll take any excuse to have Pilaf in anything. That's how much of a fanboy I am of him. They also take this opportunity to rekindle the relationship that Trunks has with Mai, which is also something that I guess you could have seen coming, but if you really think about it, ever since the Battle of Gods arc, they haven't really touched that subject at all. It was almost as if they did that whole Trunks-Mai thing as if it was just a one-time joke that they weren't going to return to. But it does seem that in this arc, since I guess Trunks is going to be playing a much bigger role, and since future Mai, although she's dead already, but she might return somehow, maybe not, who knows. But the fact that Mai does seem to be a more prominent figure in this arc, it does seem like the perfect opportunity to rekindle this relationship. I actually like this whole Mai Kid Trunks dynamic, and I liked it back in 2013 when it was introduced in the Battle of Gods movie, because it was a perfect way to get the Pilaf gang relevant again. They want the Dragon Balls? Well, I mean, Mai and Trunks kind of have a thing going. Maybe it's not maybe it's only one-sided with Trunks, but maybe Mai develops feelings. It doesn't really matter, but it really fits the character, because what they really wanted was the Dragon Balls from their mother, so it was a perfect way to incorporate these characters. But as with all peaceful things, future Trunks comes blazing into the past. One interesting thing is that Pilaf thinks that this blue-haired fellow might be Bulma's illegitimate son, and Kid Trunks' reaction to this wasn't in the best light. Of course, when he learns that it's actually himself, I guess he's gonna have an existential crisis, but we'll get to that. Of course, Bulma knows exactly what's going on, and she of course contacts Whis so that they can get Goku and Vegeta back on planet Earth to help out. Another thing I really did appreciate in this episode was when Goku was going to get the Senzu Beans, we get a look at some characters that have kind of been neglected, which have been Yajirobe and Korin. They were playing a little limbo game, and you know what? Any excuse that we get to see these characters, even though it might not be necessarily the most meaningful thing, although I do feel that it's way more interesting to have Korin and Yajirobe do this limbo game as Goku's trying to get the Senzu Beans than Goku just getting the Senzu Beans and coming back. At least you get a little event out of it instead of nothing, really. Goku feeds the Senzu Bean to future Trunks, and of course when he sees Goku's mug, his PTSD sets in and immediately attacks him. Goku probably wasn't the best person for future Trunks to see as the first person to wake up from his unconscious beating. Regardless of that, that's how the episode ends. I think that this episode, It's a pretty strong one. I mean, this episode really has it all. It has drama, it has serious tension moments, it has a really good fight at the beginning. It also has a very fun and playful side when we see Pilaf, Shu, Mai, and Trunks all at their school. And just to put some spice, just to make that little taste a little bit more perfect, we get some underutilized characters in the form of Korin and Yajirobe. But the most importantly is that this episode kept me hanging. I was very legitimately wondering what's going to happen next. I was very interested in the story and what was going on. I was engaged with these characters, and I hope that will be continuing to the future episodes. But if you enjoyed this video, guys, please subscribe to the channel, as I will be doing more Dragon Ball Super episodes like this one, as well as my other wonderful Dragon Ball segments. But until next time, guys, I'm Black and Fist, and I will always be out, man.